Hey, what is going on guys, Jock here, and welcome to week 1 of the NPCC. This is a Wi-Fi, it's 100% upload Wi-Fi league that we've been forced to join by myself, because I'm a sucker for punishment for another upload league, but it's a Wi-Fi league on Showdown, laugh, fuck it, I don't care. And it looks shit, the video looks shit, because basically I've got 3 videos to record in about the next hour before I go out, and gotta get it done. Video looks shit because it's rushed, but week 1 we had to play on Showdown just because I started a new job at an old place I used to work, but because it's a new job there's been new training, new sort of shit like that, so I was working like 50-hour weeks, starting stupidly early. I wasn't able to stay up late to get Mons and give battle at because I think the person we're battling lives in America, not quite sure, but it was just awkward. So luckily enough the guys were alright with letting me do week 1 on Showdown, so that was fine. This week we're battling the Deportivo Primarinas week 1. I never done a draft analysis for this league. We'll get through them on. So I'm going to put the team in a pokey paste, and I'll put the entire draft and maybe the matchup as well in the description of the video. I just don't have time to do a team builder, but it's like AV mixed defensive Tangrowth. It's here just to take on things like Seismitoad, Heliolisk, Aegislash, Reuniclus, whatnot. We have Scarf, Kieran, because the ice resists don't really exist outside of Aegislash, and Aegislash isn't the best switching because of Earth Power or Shadow Ball, so that's fine. We have like a mostly physically mixed defensive, but well, everything's mixed defensive because I'm not a fan of 252, it's a bit mad. It's a pet peeve of mine. But mixed defensive Scar, mostly physically defensive to take on ones like Scolipede, it'll take on the Golbat. Kind of helps with Aegislash if it's a physical Aegislash, but I just don't expect it to be a physical Aegislash. Then we have a Shuckerberry Heatran again. It's another check to Scolipede, obviously. Scolipede's a big threat to my team. I knew it was coming, obviously, because of Espeon, Tangrowth, and whatnot. Mega Altaria, of course, which is on the end. It's not a regular Altaria. So it's just Shuckerberry. Obviously, it takes Flying Jabs, takes a Mega Lance, takes a Rock Slides, anything like that, and it'll take an Earthquake and it eats up its Shuckerberry and pop it off with a Lava Plume. Then we have a sub 3 attacks Espeon. Espeon has a fantastic matchup against them. He kind of has to sack every time it comes in, and that's why I've elected to go with sub, in case, like, as I say, he has to sack, so that like I can get a sub, get the kill, and then he has to sack something else to try and break the sub. And looking at the team he brings, he either has to sack Aegislash or Scolipede every time left it gets a sub up, which is fantastic because they're the 2 biggest threats to my team. So if we get a sub up, we basically get a kill on one of them, which is fantastic. Then we just have a bulky Mega Altaria. I think it's a bit modest with 156 special attack, some speed, some HP. It's kind of here just as a... Obviously it helps with Heliolisk, it helps with Reuniclus, it helps with Seismitoad, but it also still does enough damage to where it's a massive threat versus his team. And it doesn't have the great switch-ins to it, obviously, because as you can see, Hyper Voice and Fire Blast do a massive number to all the Pokemon here, apart from Golbat. But Golbat's not fantastic because we have Skarmory, we have Kieran, and we have Espeon, and even Heatran sort of gives it issues. So we'll get into this battle. We lead off with our Mega Altaria here, and he leads with his Seismitoad, not wanting to get this thing weakened because he must have thought it was important. I go into it and we fire off this, just 56, so I'm not happy with how I played the game. As you can see already, for some reason I made that play. I Hyper Voiced just to see if I should have just... I Hyper Voiced again just to get a more sort of view on the Reuniclus's spread, instead of just switching out into something that took advantage of it. But honestly, I wasn't happy with how I prepped for Reuniclus, so that's why. And I got the crit. You know, lucky, bad. You gotta be sometimes. So he goes Golbat, which is a very good counter. So I just went to my Skarmory here as bad, 50 HP. God. But we had the Rocky Helmet just to punish this sort of spread, and I can double out here into my Altaria. This was because I was expecting Heliolisk. I thought it would go hard Heliolisk, and well, he went into this. That's fine. So we go Tangrowth. Tangrowth is basically bulky enough on both sides that it'll take Specs or Choice Banded. I think honestly it takes it on very well, and I can just knock off here, and he goes into Scolipede, which is great. We get rid of this thing's Black Sludge. So Skarmory takes this on even low, but as he shows, he is a sort of spike set, so and now he goes hard into the Heliolisk, which is annoying. We crit it, so you know, I make bad plays and I'm getting allowed for it, and here he shows me that that's goddamn that Specs. Does a massive 50%, so he goes into Seismitoad as we Earth Power. It only does 30%, not much, but we're weakening the team to a great state. So we go Espeon here. Basically, I thought he was going to Stealth Rock, but That's why I went Espeon, and the only thing that had a chance of killing Espeon was knockoff, and there's no way he's knocking off my Kyurem. I'm surprised he scalded my Kyurem, to be honest, but he probably did expect the incoming Espeon. So we've got leftovers, and he switches out expecting the energy ball, which is great. So we get the sub up, and this is what I mean by if we get a sub, he has to sack Scolipede. So here he has to sack it to break the sub as we just pick it off with a Psychic. So that's fantastic, massive threat to my team. It means our Skarmory's weak, but it doesn't matter that much because Skarmory's not got a big job here. So he goes into Heliolisk, and not quite sure why. I think maybe he possibly thought I was bulky because of the sub and the leftovers, and possibly thought I was bulky, but as I was actually, just enough speed for Heliolisk, max special attack with a tiny tip of HP, just because Espeon was such a fantastic defensive. So he goes into Aegislash here as we switch out to our Tangrowth because, comfortable taking anything this Aegislash wants to do, but sadly Tangrowth can't do too much to it. I am rocking the Earthquake, but I won't do much, but here I knock off, thinking that he was going to go back scouting for the Earthquake as he King Shields, which means I lose my attack and it's not possible to stay. So I go into my Heatran and eat the Shadow Ball and scare him out with Lava Plume. As he goes Seismitoad, so just getting rid of Seismitoad would be nice to sort of stop rocks, and we do that with the HP Grass. We're packing that Tech HP Grass, which he obviously wasn't expecting, so we're able to get a Lava Plume up to a massive 59%, even to the big Aegislash in defense farm, but we have to sack our Heatran here, and that loses a 6-0. I think I could have played this game for a 6-0, I feel like, but Aegislash was such a massive threat to my team that I never felt comfortable doing that. I was like, I'd rather take the win, because even at this point now, I'm 5-2 up, and I can still remember at the time thinking, shit, Aegislash can just beat me. Which, that is such a scary Pokemon. They let the Ubers in, and I was okay with that. We never got an Uber. I actually forgot to say that we never drafted our first 4 Mons, which were like Skarmory, Heatran, Tangrowth and Mega Altaria. I never drafted any of those. I was happy to use them. I think Tangrowth's fantastic. Skarmory's one of my favourite. I don't like Heatran too much, but if Heatran's a good Mon, I'm going to try and use it. Mega Altaria, I didn't actually like before this, but team building with Altaria, mucking about with it on the ladder and whatnot, and in this battle, I actually was like, okay, Altaria, you're special, you're pretty good. So I went to my Altaria here just because I know I can pick him off with a Fire Blast, but he King Shields, which I knew he would do, but honestly I didn't have, this is what I mean, I had no good way of breaking down Aegislash, so here he goes into go back. That takes nothing from this Fire Blast from Altaria. So as I said, it's an offensive bulky Altaria. It was never made to sort of wall break. It was just there because it could do big hits while still walling a lot of his team. So we both just roost here, which is fine. I'll let him. He's never going to beat me because he's not taunt, which was something I actually worried about. So I can just start setting up my hazards, and he knows that. So he's like, shit, I need to get Aegislash back in before it loses too much. As I double into Espeon, expecting this, and I just wanted to get the Shadow Ball damage off because basically, as you see here now, Aegislash will be in range of rocks, which I had to do. I had to sack my Espeon to do this, and Espeon was great. Espeon, it got its 2 kills, done what I needed to do, broke Scolipede, broke Helios, 2 offensive threats to my team. I just had to really work around this, and this is the problem. I had to sack 2 Pokemon to kill Aegislash. That's what I mean by it had the chance to just absolutely destroy my team. So he goes Golbat here, and we knock off its Eviolite, which makes it easier to deal with. And I'd worked out it only had superpowers, it's attacking moves, so I just went hard Kyurem, knowing that I can clean this game up with Ice Beam. And we take a pretty good 4-0 win. I wasn't too happy with how I played and how I prepped, but I played well enough to take the win, I prepped well enough to take the win. And great game to, I think his name's Juan, of the Deportivo Primarina, and hopefully we can take this league by storm, get a 2nd championship, and well, that's it. Thanks for watching. Peace.